Welcome back to session 11 of our Leadership Intensive Follow-Up Program. Today, we're meeting with Michael Duke of Michael Duke and Associates about coaching. And Michael has literally written the book on coaching. His book is Coaching to the Goal. Michael, exactly what is coaching? And why is this important to our frontline leaders and managers?
I appreciate the question. One of my passions in life is teaching leaders the coach approach to leadership. What I've found is that most leaders feel like they bring tremendous value to an organization by getting a lot of work done, that they're the expert at getting things done. And yet they're leaving out the all-important work of developing their staff. So coaching is all about the mission of making your people better. So someone who has a coach approach to leadership really devotes a significant amount of their time every day to training, developing, teaching their employees what improved performance looks like.
Okay. Yeah, our leaders have been schooled on getting things done with and through other people and creating an environment where they can be successful. So developing them in their skill of leadership is going to be an important thing. Let me ask you, having talked to you before, we know that the values of the company are really important to connect into the coaching process here. And virtually every company in Shelbyville here talks about integrity as a core value. How would integrity be intermeshed in the coaching process?
Yeah, if you don't mind, let me just talk in general about values and specifically about integrity. Often organizations spend a lot of time, they'll take their leaders on a retreat and they'll make a wonderful mission, values, vision statement, and they put it on the wall and then they never talk about it again, right? And integrity is often one of those values, right, that we all hold dear. So what leadership and coaching does is it ties in values. Instead of making them pretty words on a page like integrity, it actually allows it to be infused throughout the culture and become a part of the fabric, if you would, of how they behave and how they think and how they approach their work with one another, their work with vendors, and their work with customers.
So the values that we're talking about are actually behaviors here that can be coached and taught to our managers so that they can be cascaded down to the rest of their people.
Yeah, I think behaviors and attitudes, sometimes people may not do something wrong, but they have an attitude that exemplifies something in conflict with a core value. So absolutely, a behavior may come from an attitude that is bad, or an attitude may not yet be a behavior, but you're kind of catching it preemptively before it becomes maybe acted out in a behavior that violates an organization's core values.
That's all interesting. You know, you've got a 7-step coaching process that I'd like to examine here a little bit. I'm wondering if we could take a common issue that we have in manufacturing and many other businesses of possibly showing up late, chronically showing up late, and see if we could take it through that 7-step coaching process. You be willing to do that?
Sure. You know, the idea of being tardy is a common problem in the world today. I mean, it always has been. And, you know, when I'm teaching this, as you do to organizations, I'll ask people, like, is being on time, is that a big deal? And everybody says yes.
Sure.
And so I'll ask them, well, do people get fired because they're consistently tardy? I'll say, yes. But many times we want to minimize these things. So if we use this coaching model, so let's set it up this way. If I just came to you and I said, hey, Doug, so I'm acting like I'm your boss, so this is fun for me.
Yeah.
So if I said, hey, Doug, you're late way too many times, I need you to cut it out.
Wow, I'm going to be pretty defensive if you do that.
Probably not the most effective approach.
Right.
But if I have a conversation, say, Doug, you know, you've been here 3 months, and you know, you've done a lot of things right. You've gotten off to a good start, but you've heard me talk to you about some of our core values here, values like integrity and team and you know, excellence. So when you're late, and I'm looking at a report here that says you've been more than 15 minutes late 3 times in the last 2 weeks, is that a behavior, this tardiness, that exemplifies or aligns with our value of integrity? So when we're having this discussion, if I approach you in that way, that's a different discussion. Would you agree?
Oh, sure. So you're saying that I can connect what's happened here with the actual value. So we're living it out.
Yeah, I think as adults, we want to treat each other with respect.
Mm-hmm.
And, Simon Sinek wrote a wonderful book about the question why.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is helpful when we say why an expectation is important. To go back to that original things like, hey, you're late, cut it out. It's like, okay.
Okay.
But now you have a conversation with me about a value that you've modeled, that I've seen other key people model, and you're saying, hey, this is not just about being late. This is about violating a value within our organization that we hold dear, right?
It sounds to me like you're connecting this from the head to the heart now, making a decision to change because it's an internal issue.
I think that's a good way to look at it.